goodies at Lowe's a few hours ago. For the longest time, my plans were to get red roses climbing over these arches, red climbing roses, and I found them at Lowe's, you guys. These are the Climbing Collection's Don Juan Climbing Rose, and they were $26.78, so $27 each, about a little over $30 after tax. But look at them. Oh my gosh. They only had a few. They probably had maybe like 6 of them when I went, and people were already grabbing them, so I'm just so excited. The reason that I'm planting red climbing roses in my garden, aside from the fact that they look beautiful, is because my mother passed away earlier this year, and her favorite roses were red roses, and so I wanted to plant some in memory of her, and they're also my mother-in-law's favorite roses, so I figured I could have flowers that she'll enjoy and I can take to her whenever they start blooming and they get bigger and stuff. So I'm really happy about this. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. I was planning to put them in this space right here so that they can start climbing up trellises, because they do need quite a bit of room and they need good sun, and this portion of the house gets pretty good sun without getting an excess amount of sun, and that way they're the first thing you see once they actually start climbing, which I know is going to take a while, but you'll see the 2 arches filled with red blooms. And eventually, sorry for the appearance, and eventually I want to add more roses to my garden. I feel like my favorite flower has always been sunflowers, but now seeing the roses, I think roses might actually be my favorite. Not necessarily red roses, more of that like peachy pink color, which they also had. But I want to grow those in bush form. But these red ones are climbing ones, so these for sure need to go on trellises. They need some support. I have also seen how people will sometimes have them trellis along the walls, so like around the fence. But I don't want to do that because eventually I want to have grapes trellis along the fence. And I've seen that done as well, so that's my plan for that. But in the meantime, I want to get these in. If I didn't have the shade cloth up, I typically wouldn't be able to do this right now because it would be a little bit too hot. But it feels nice outside, it's warm, but we have the protection from the sun right now. So I think it's the perfect time to go ahead and set these up, which I'm so excited about. I'm just nervous that I'm going to do it wrong. I mean, they have the instructions in the back. Also, I bought this Arizona's Best rose food. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I've seen Garden Answer. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to their channel. You probably are if you're into plants. I love their channel. It's probably one of my favorites. But I love watching whenever they plant roses, and I know they really like to use Garden Tone, Biotone, something like that. I didn't see any at Lowe's, and I was honestly so excited to get back home that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up what I see, and that one says Arizona, so I figured it would be good. Plus, like, I looked up some reviews and it looked like people really like it, so here goes nothing. So like around here maybe, or should I put it right here? Because if I put them right here, I can have them trellis that way. How should I do it, you guys? I could put it behind the trellis. Should I do that? So I'm going to plant it right here. gosh, look how cute. I didn't put it too close to over here, even though I probably could, because I know that these are going to get longer and then I can eventually sort of trellis them to come in. And that way they have enough space around the roots. Oh my gosh. Okay, time to do this one over here now. I'm probably going to do this one off camera because the sun is actually hitting this portion a little bit more. And I want to try to hurry up. This is what they look like. Oh my gosh, so pretty. This one's like, I feel like I put this one out a little bit too much this way though. Okay, I might move it over here a little bit more. I'm all scratched up. Let me show you. I look pretty rough. My hands are all scratched up. This one as well. It's just scratches everywhere. But you know what? It's a million times worth it. Look how beautiful these look. Oh my gosh. They look so gorgeous, you guys. And then there's this one right here. I think I did a better job planting this one. The other one I wound up moving it a little bit back because I felt like it just wasn't even enough. Which honestly isn't even a big deal. It's a me problem, okay? And even now I feel like the plant itself looks good. It's just this little part is bugging me because it's at an angle. But you know what? It's not a big deal. I also just gave them a thorough watering right now. And it looks so pretty. But okay, time to go inside now. And then I want to come out here and sow the beds later today, but we'll see if I get to that. I feel like I always lift my glasses up every time I start filming so that I don't look too crazy. Good morning. It's around 10 a.m. right now, and I'm finally coming out to the garden to harvest some stuff. I didn't really come out here in the morning because I was just really busy, but I did get a few things done with my husband, which I didn't film. First things first, I set up these lights by this brand. I got them off of Amazon. I'll link them down below. And that is what they look like. They're actually really nice bulbs. I got the kind that are plastic because my kids are always out here and I'm scared of the glass ones shattering. So I'm gonna light them up tonight and we'll see what they look like. So that's the first thing we did. And I think I'll give you guys a little overview and then I'll go ahead and harvest some okra. This is my harvest basket. Oh, isn't it so cute? I actually got it from Goodwill a while ago and then I just disinfected it and everything, but it's so sturdy and cute and I love the design. Okay, so let's head out. The roses are looking amazing, you guys. There's a few petals on the floor, but that's my fault. A few days ago I decided that I felt it was best to start trellising it onto my trellis versus using the one that it came with. That way the roses could start falling in and I can start just helping it wind up. And when I did that, I accidentally made a bunch of the petals fall off of an older bloom, so it's fine. But they look so pretty. They're really, really open. They're nice size. These are like a medium size. They're not too small, not too big, but they look so pretty. These would be perfect for like any type of arrangement. I can't wait until I get a ton of them and then I can give them to my mother-in-law and family members for special events or just whenever we go visit. So there's that. But look how beautiful. They're just such a pretty color. Some of my tomatoes are starting to flower, as you can see here. I still don't have any actual tomatoes growing, but the fact that they're flowering is a really, really good thing. Once in a while, I'll just come in and pinch off any suckers. Suckers are basically like right here. So you have the main stem, a leaf, and then another branch starts growing at a 45-degree angle, like this one right here. And I just pinch it off. Because I have so many sewn down at the bottom, I just want to make sure that they get as much oxygen as possible, and I don't want them to get too crazy. Also, after I thin these out, is it just me or are they just growing a bit faster? I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But I feel like they're growing taller, stronger, and they just look so nice. I mean, look at these. They're doing really, really good. What happened right here? Excuse me. Okay, let's just take that off. As for my broccoli, it's also growing like crazy. There's a lot of new growth on them at the very top and something still after them. I don't know if I mentioned in a previous video, but I came out here one night with a black light and I still couldn't find anything. And I still haven't gone through and sprayed them down, but I have to. There's just so many things on my to-do list that sometimes I feel like I just can't get to everything, or I just forget things. Now, I'm really happy because I do keep seeing blooms out here. The only thing is that none of them have actually turned into tomatoes yet. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I hope it's soon because I want to harvest something. I want to harvest everything out of this garden. And then the ground cherries, do you guys know how long it takes for them to be ready? I know that a lot of times they'll just fall on the ground, and I come and I check, and so far I don't see any that actually look good to eat. Some of them fall down once in a while just randomly, but they're still really young. Oh my gosh, I love seeing that. As for these blauheit beans, they're doing amazing. They're starting to crawl up. They're finding their way up the trellis. And these are my favorite leaves is on bean plants. I mean, we'll see what peas look like, but they just look so dainty and nice. I love them. Here I have a few zinnias that are doing pretty good. Something also went after these, but for the most part, they're doing great. I do need to sow some more. I can't wait until I see these beds just full of green, full of greenery, full of plants. I can just picture it in my head, and I can't wait to see it come to life. Now, the pumpkin plant is doing so good, you guys. It's been about, I think, less than 7 days since I've had the shade cloth up. And look at that pumpkin right there. Can you guys see that? It's just amazing. There's so much new growth. Look at these new leaves. They look so beautiful compared to the old ones. These look all like discolored and they don't look the prettiest. And then these just look so, they almost look like a mint green color. The new tendrils even look stronger than the old ones did, if that makes sense. And here's another pumpkin. They're just doing really, really good. I feel so happy every time I come and look at this because I didn't think it would even make it, but it's doing great. Here's my other roses. These are also doing really, really good. Right now they look more of a hot pink color, but they're so beautiful. I'm so happy. I love coming out here and just staring at them for a few minutes. They just bring me so much joy. And you know what's funny? Up until a few days ago, I always said that my favorite flower was the sunflower. When my husband proposed to me, he got me sunflowers, and after I planted these roses, I realized that my favorite flower is actually pink roses. It's like those pink peachy colors. Oh, I just love those. When I went to the garden center the other day to pick these up, I saw the other ones and I just fell in love. I'm obsessed with them. I can't wait to get some into my garden. And so coming out here and looking at these red ones just makes me picture the pink ones. As for this little mandarin tree, it's a clementine. It's a clementine semi-dwarf tree. I went ahead and I pruned some of the branches off this morning because they were just flopping over so much, and I just felt bad for it. So I watched a few videos and I went in and I pruned some up just to have it grow up a little bit more sturdier versus just flopping over like it was before. I'm gonna leave the okra bed towards the end, that way I can harvest it with you guys. But let's move on to the watermelon. They're obviously still flowering, as you can see there, and then right here. I feel like the new growth is stronger than the old one. The vines are just growing like crazy. They've taken over everything, and I was concerned that with the shade cloth over the trellises that the vines wouldn't be able to get through, but they're actually doing pretty good. They're still climbing up there just fine, no problem, so I'm happy about that. Now the sunflowers, on the other hand, I don't know if it's because of the shade cloth that they can't follow the sun throughout the day, but I feel like they're not doing as good as they were. A lot of the leaves are falling and they're getting really droopy, so that does make me sad. I don't know what to do because I need the shade cloth for the rest of the plants, but the sunflowers are suffering, I think, because of it. And Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like even this one that was going to. So I don't know if it actually is a shade cloth. This one looked like it was going to open up, but the petals started drying up even before it bloomed. So is there something else that's affecting these? I'm not entirely sure, but so far they don't look like they're doing too great. But the watermelon, can you guys see that? The vines are they just took over. This is their area now. Same here. The watermelon plants, I guess that's all I can say for now, is that they're doing amazing. This watermelon over here is just growing like a monster. Look at that. It's huge. I love this one. I kept hoping it would take, and it most definitely did. So I can't wait to eat that one. This is a Christmas lima pole bean, and I love it. I love the leaves. It just looks so beautiful and delicate. It reminds me of something out of a fairy tale. The greens that I have over here are doing pretty good. I was worried before that they wouldn't be able to pop through the chicken wire, but most of them have. Out of the other beans that I had planted right here, I had several actually of the, of the bean blue lake pole, and only this one made it. And I have no more seeds for those, so hopefully that one takes off and I can harvest seeds from it later on. Now this is a bear's lime tree that I was so worried about before, because before I put the shade cloth up, it was really struggling. It was getting a lot of these white spots and leaf curl, and all of this right here at the top is new growth. Look at this. It also has some going at the sides, new shoots coming up here, and it had about 2 or 3 like woody stems that just didn't look too good, so I went ahead and I trimmed those off, and now it looks so much better, and I hope that it just keeps growing like crazy. It makes me so happy every time I see them improving. So now for the last portion, I'm gonna harvest the okra. This is the last bed. So the bean plants right here are doing amazing. None of them have dried up anymore. They're growing. I actually had a few new sprouts coming up, so I hope I get to harvest some beans soon. Towards the back of the bed, there's still nothing growing here because I need to do my job and reseed, but I will get to that later. In the meantime, it's time to harvest okra. Look at these flowers, so pretty. I love watching Roots and Refuge. Jess, she would always talk about how oftentimes she would have to harvest okra twice a day or multiple times a day because it just grows insane. And I felt like mine was growing pretty slowly, and then I just didn't come out here for one day and it just shot up like crazy. Now I feel like I have to do the same, and I'm so happy about that, honestly. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. Well, so I'll just pick them up after. I think I'm going to take this one off as well. This one's pretty small. Let that one get a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll come harvest it either later today or tomorrow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot one right here. Did I forget any? I hope not. I can't wait until the day when I can come out here mornings and afternoons and then just have this full of stuff to eat. Oh, it makes me so happy. Before I go back in, let me just show you these 2 front planters. I feel like I never ever include these in videos, but this one right here, I have herbs growing in that are herbs that tend to take over, like oregano, chive, spearmint. I also have some peppermint seeds that I picked up from Lowe's, so I'm going to go ahead and sow those here, but that way these don't take over my other garden beds and don't wreak havoc on my other plants. And then for this one, I actually have more flowers growing here, which I should have just done it more symmetrical and maybe planted the same things on both planters, but I wanted to see what would pop up first, and the flowers here are doing really good. Now, if you were to ask me which flowers I planted, I have no idea. I seriously just threw seeds down and hoped that something would sprout, because for the longest time, nothing was growing in these. But I think it was the temperature, honestly. And I guess that's it for right now. Time to go inside with